Welcome back everyone. Today we will talk about the latter. Before going further, I suggest you review the video on the ratio spread as it is an introduction to this topic. Okay, let's see a ladder strategy built on call options. The ladder strategy is a variation of the ratio spread. They show a very similar risk profile. A ladder is nothing more than a ratio spread where we sell options on different strikes. This makes the payoff flat and cuspless with a broader base. This figure resembles an iron condor, covered only on one side and naked on the other. If the ladder is made with puts, the position is hedged on the upside. If the ladder is made with calls, the strategy is protected on the downside. In this example, we buy a call at strike 1000 at the price of 40, and we sell a call at strike 1040 at the price of 22, and another call at strike 1100 at the price of 8. Basically, we buy 40 and we sell 30 premium. So, 10 is the cost to enter the position. The area of maximum profit extends from 1040 to 1100. The same figure can also be built on the put side. Let's see the differences. As you can see, the payoff is reversed downwards and the premium of the put OTM options is higher than the call side due to the volatility skew, as we mentioned in the ratio spread video. In fact, the cost to buy the put is $40, but the premium we collect from the puts we sell is $33, that is 10% more. So, first of all, it reduces our cost. Instead of spending 10, we spend 7. At the same time, we move the break-even point at expiration date far away, increasing the probability of profit. As this is a credit strategy, the time decay or a decrease in volatility are our favor in these strategies since they raise the at-now curve towards the profile at expiration. Let's see what happens if the volatility goes from 30% to 15%. Here's what happens to our options if we lower the volatility and leave the price of the underlying unchanged. The put we have bought loses 50% of its value, going from $40 to $20, and the puts we have sold lose much more in percentage terms. In fact, the 940 put loses 82%, while the 900 put loses 90%. The combined effect increases the at-now line and takes our position into profit. Under the HUT, created by the time value, the profit is $27 at the maximum point of the curve. The figure has a large price range in profit, even from 1030 and 850 approximately. But what happens if volatility suddenly rises? Obviously, the opposite happens. Our at-now curve will drop below the zero line, making it difficult to manage the position. This especially if you do not have adequate weapons and skills to face, even if temporarily, the loss in your portfolio. So, the news today is that in addition to strong price movements, also sudden changes in volatilities can affect this kind of strategies. Short strategies with uncovered options are very difficult to control, especially if you build them when it is not time to do so. If the volatility goes from 30% to 60%, even if the price of the underlying remains stable, the position suddenly goes into a loss. The first put makes a profit. With volatility doubling, the put doubles its price. As you may see, also the short puts increase their price. And this increase is huge. The put's premium has tripled or more, and the position is 39 points underwater. As many of you may know, the increase in volatility usually happens along with a fall in the underlying, and therefore the problems accumulate, and our portfolio sinks in deep red. Here you can see this effect. Please take a look to the curvature of the at-now line. Remember, this curve tells us which is the risk of our position. The steeper the curve, the riskier. This curve is running down sharply, and the loss that we have accumulated under the time value area becomes quite heavy. Do you imagine what we will encounter if the underlying reaches 920? Or even drops beyond 900? At that point, it may already be late to intervene. At most you can only hope. But hope in trading almost never rhymes with profit. On the contrary, it is money management based on the hope to get many operators in trouble. The money management based on hope is when you look at the expiration dark line in the payoff and you ignore the orange curve. As a matter of fact, at expiration date, despite the problems we are experiencing at the moment, we would still make a profit. This is what our risk profile tells us. Although a storm of volatility may break out on the market, if the underlying nails at 920, we will exit without any loss and with our nice profit of $53 at expiration. But this carries a number of problems. First of all, the main problem is that we are in the hands of fate. We are no longer masters of our position. We live our long 41 days that separate us from the expiration date in hope. We hope that the underlying does not break down, we hope it moves little, we hope it rebounds. We look worried at the computer. We are in a bad mood and we are distracted. The loss on the account, even if temporary, bothers us, upsets us, leads us not to think consistently and maybe to collect new losses. The risk of a further decline in the underlying price involves a significant increase in the margin from our broker. They will ask us for more money to be made available to keep the position alive. If we don't have enough money, it is a real pain. A margin call is nothing more than a forced closure of losing positions in the worst way you can imagine. They buy on the ask at the worst price. Just when the market makers put the books in crisis and significantly widen the spreads between bid and ask. In short, a real disaster. Here, we are using the example with $60. But, do you understand what this can mean when, instead of having an underlying with a notional amount of $1,000, we are trading an SP 500 worth some $100,000? So what? Close them. And you shouldn't have any regrets. Nobody can predict the future, and unexpected events are called just that, because nobody expects them. When we set up our strategy, we didn't think volatility would explode, on the contrary, we were hoping for a significant decrease in volatility. But now, we need to take steps to correct this strategy when things are not going well. The options are awesome tools to make adjustments. Sometimes they allow us to get out of the bog almost intact, other times to lose little and taking home the skin, other times even make a profit from a position that was difficult. For example, we can add a long put as in this example. In this example, we have applied only one of the infinite moves to protect our position, even temporarily. The simplest and most immediate. With the sole purchase of a put at strike 840 at a price of $8, this risk figure can be asymmetrically secured. In this case, of course, we give up part of the premium, but we will sleep peacefully for the next 40 days. Thanks for your attention, see you in the next videos.